Okay, you guys, so I'm going to start off by showing you everything that I'm going to be using for this casserole. We have some cream of chicken, cream of mushroom here. We also have the Fiesta nacho cheese, rotel, some cheese, jalapenos, which are optional for this dish, chicken broth, some onions, rotisserie chicken because I'm being lazy, corn tortillas, Roma tomatoes, mushrooms, whoops, green peppers, and jalapeno. Now, like I said, both of the jalapenos are definitely optional, and you also want a pan to cook it in. I'm using a full pan today because I will be taking this casserole somewhere, and I just want to be able to trash the things when I'm done. So, yeah. These are all the ingredients that I'm going to be using. Now, I'm also going to be using some seasonings, but I will show those to you as I make the casserole. So yeah, stay tuned, you guys. All right, you guys, so we're going to get started by getting out our mushrooms and chopping them up. As you can see, I have halves of mushrooms, and I'm just giving them a slight chop in half and making them into medium sizes. I do have a few left over, so I did not use that whole pack, but we're just going to get those moved out of the way and get started on our Roma tomatoes. I have 4 tomatoes here, but I think I'm only going to use about 3. I don't know. We'll see. Notice I'm not chopping them up very small. I do like for this dish to have a little bit of texture, so I'm kind of leaving them this size. And yeah, I only use 3 tomatoes. So yeah, these are green bell peppers, and I'm going to give them a rough chop as well. I'm going to leave out the little pepper flakes in the inside, or whatever they're called, because I do not want this dish to be too spicy, because I am going to be adding jalapenos. So now we're just going to move on to the yellow onions. These are actually sweet, so I'm just going to get those peeled and chopped up. I'm leaving all of my vegetables around the same size because this dish does require a little bit of texture to it. So you don't want them chopped up too fine, but you also want them to be the size that you'll eat. All right, so I opt to use the fresh jalapeno today, and I'm only going to use 1, and I am going to leave the flakes inside of these because this is the little spice that I'm going to add to the dish. That's why I removed them from the bell pepper. I didn't want too many of those little flakes flying around in my dish. So this is now olive oil that I'm spreading in the pan. I'm about to get ready to saute all of my veggies. So I'm just going to pour them in the pan. Now, I'm not going to be sauteing the tomatoes or anything like that, just the mushrooms, onions, and peppers. So I'm just going to kind of whisk them all around in the olive oil, making sure all the vegetables are covered. And I'm just going to let that sit for a second until the pan gets a little warm and popping. Now, as you can see, I'm putting in pepper, and I'm also going to be adding some garlic powder to this. So now I'm going to be adding in some salt. I'm only using a tablespoon. And y'all, with all of these seasonings, please season this to your preference. I'm just letting you guys know what I use, but feel free to season it as you would like. Definitely don't want you guys to get high blood pressure or anything. All right, so I've just put in cream of chicken. Now I'm adding in the cream of mushroom and the Fiesta nacho cheese. All of that's going to go in here together. I'm going to give that a stir. And then I'm going to be adding in some more pepper and also some more garlic powder. Now, like I told you, season it to your liking, but I like to season my sauce as well as the vegetables so that once it's all put together, it'll all taste very seasoned. So, yeah. But you guys taste it as you go. Do what you prefer. But it's good, I'm telling you. All right, so now we're going to move on to the chicken broth. I'm going to be adding 1 cup of chicken broth to the sauce. And you're just going to stir that in until it has kind of like meshed in and whipped in all with with the cream of mushroom and cream of chicken. It should look something like this. So now my peppers and onions and mushrooms and things, they're all ready. They're sauteed, they're soft. So I'm going to add them into the sauce. All right, you guys, so this is the chopped up rotisserie chicken. I just put this in my chopper just to, go ahead and get it chopped up. Amia was actually doing that while I was cooking the sauce and sauteing the veggies. So yeah, it's about time for us to start building the casserole. So I'm going to get my pan and show you guys how we're going to get this thing layered. So before I start layering the casserole, I do like to go ahead and add my tomatoes into the sauce. I do this at the end, like when the sauce is almost done, because I don't want the tomatoes to get too mushy and soft. And I'm also going to go ahead and chopping up my corn tortillas. And you're going to see how I do that right now. For this size pan, I do use about 15 tortillas, and I do also like to chop them up in like slices because it just makes the casserole a lot easier to pick up once you actually start eating it. So this is how it looks. Now I'm going to go ahead and get my cheese shredded. I do like to shred my cheese for most casseroles that I make if I have it handy. Now, you'll see at the end that I will be using the bag cheese for the topping. But for the inside, I like to go with the shredded. Now, I'm just going to add in my chicken cubes and also my rotel. And this sauce is basically done, you guys. We're just going to give it a quick stir and let it kind of simmer while I preheat my oven to 375. All right, so let's layer. First, I'm going to start off by spraying my pan with some butter spray just to help it not stick to the bottom. And then I'm going to add on a layer of the tortillas. And you're just going to cover the bottom of the pan. All right, so once the bottom of your pan is covered, I'm then going to go ahead and get some sauce and start spreading it on top. And like I said, this is just kind of a layering process. You're going to do these same steps over and over again. So right now, I'm just getting the sauce. Now, you can put as little or as much sauce on your layers as you would like. This is kind of just your personal preference. And now I'm going to go in with the chicken. Like I said, you can chop up your chicken the way that you like. For this dish, we prefer our chicken to be a little bit smaller, but feel free to leave it in, longer shreds or in chunks. It's kind of just basically up to you. You can kind of do it how you want, but we decided to opt for the chopped version today. So yeah, now let's get that cheese layered. Like I said, I do like to go with the block cheese for casseroles. I just prefer this method because I feel as though the cheese does melt a little bit better as far as casseroles go. But depending on your timing, you definitely use whatever you can. And as you can see, I'm just starting over the process again. I'm now layering my tortillas. I would then be going in with the sauce and then the chicken and then the cheese. And we're just going to do this until I can't do it anymore or until I run out of stuff. You guys, so as you can see, I've run out of chicken and I've also run out of my shredded cheese. So I am going to be taking the bag cheddar cheese and putting that over the top as my topping. Now, I love cheese for this dish, so I am going to be making sure the top is fully covered with cheese. Use how much you like. If you're being healthy, then I would definitely limit it to, but yeah, I'm going overboard. No, not really overboard, but I am definitely making sure it's covered. And now I'm going to take some smoked paprika, and I like to sprinkle that on the top for a little decor. And I'm also going to be using parsley. So I'm going to be using those two to kind of decorate the top. I just love how it looks when it comes out the oven because y'all, look at it. It looks delicious. But yeah, it's not cooked yet. Wait until it comes out of the oven and you'll really see how it's going to look. So y'all, this is straight out the oven and it's done. So it is done. This is your cheesy chicken fajita casserole. Definitely check this out. Let me know how you guys enjoy it if you try it. Unfortunately, I do not have a taste test for you today because this is for tomorrow, so I'm not going to dig in it. But yeah, when you guys try it, let me know how it goes for you. Thank you for watching. Bye.